Well, hello everybody. How you doing today on this eve of July the 4th weekend? I hope you're doing well. Please make sure that you be safe and sound while you're out there popping them firecrackers. I'm Jedi Granville. Welcome back to Jedi Granville Productions. And with me is Mr. Mark Justice from Horror and Metal. I'm saying that right? Yeah,
Heavy Metal
Heavy
Horror Podcast.
Podcast. That's what I was like. No,
That's
there's
it.
something else on the else.
That's
Thank
right.
you.
And Unsane Radio. I'm Dr.
That's
Head
right.
at Unsane Radio. That's right. I do 2 podcasts. That's right. And
Okay. You see?
I love being on your show. So thank you for
Very,
inviting me.
but you're very busy, very ambitious, and that's a good thing. You don't run out of gas anytime soon.
No, try not to.
Okay, but I'm glad you had here, brother, because I wanted someone. I mean, I could have done this solo, but I figure like I need a what you call a partner in crime to kind of steer through this a little bit, because it's this particular episode is dealing with G Fest moments, and we're going to be talking about a 10th anniversary of my experience, and I'm pretty sure with the Mark II, the experience of 2016 G Fest, which was my very first G Fest that I ever went to.
Nice.
And I have to say, when I went to it, as I was telling Mark, I was, like I say, very green, very ambitious, a little younger, a little less wiser, as I like to say. And I was, like I say, I was very nervous, it's extremely nervous. In fact, before we get started, I want to show you just how nervous I was, because this is a video I made prior to before I went to G Fest, my first one. And you could see if you could tell how different in now compared to that person back then. So let me just play it here. I don't know if any of you know this, but I am going to G Fest this year. And taking a day off tomorrow, get everything situated as far as packing and taking care of those things before I go. And I'm catching excuse me for the audio on this too. Out of here in Jackson, Mississippi, to go to Chicago. And let me tell you something. I'm so wrapped up in total excitement. Let's just put it that way. I mean, it's a little nervous, but it's a lot of excitement too. And let me tell you right offhand, this is the first time I've ever actually taken a personal vacation anywhere. I mean, I've taken a vacation just to be off from work, but never in my life have I taken a vacation just to go anywhere. Never done that. Guess I never had no reason to. I mean, the way things were going, I mean, it's like, man, I'm not a traveling person, so I said to myself, I'll just take off, but just stay to the grindstone at home. Well, push come to shove, I guess time tells you to get off your butts and do something for a change, to make a little change in your life and say, hey, live a little. You're not getting any younger, dude. I mean, do something with your life a little bit so that you can say, hey, I've experienced something. And I know, talking to people on Facebook, talking to friends at work, and specifically some of the people at my work, my co-workers, they sent me off with a grandstand of, just have fun, just enjoy this, because, you never know if it's gonna come again. You don't know this. That's just
Yeah. And you look like a baby there.
Right. But you see
Yeah.
that person that's persona then compared to mine
Yeah,
now.
you're nervous. Let me ask you, man. Why do you think you were so nervous about going to G Fest for that first time?
I can honestly tell you now that back then I was more of an introvert. I mean, though I can be around people, I was that kind of person. I was extremely shy, even up to that point in my life. True. And it's kind of funny how back then, even in my mid 40s, I was still that kind of person. But it's funny how going to G Fest would eventually change that. I would become something different.
Mhm.
You know? And it's weird how that manifestation of traveling back and forth, meeting other people and interacting, it like, wow, how is it that I didn't do this before? But as I didn't play the whole video, but it gave me enough to say that in the time that I was doing things back then, it's because, like, say, I was taking care of things. I was taking care of personal feelings. But once I got older, it's like, hey, there you go. And here I am now. And it's like that person is like no longer here. That
Yeah.
person's long gone. It's like, what
Hmm.
happened to him? Because I often ask that question, like, what happened to this old, stuck in the mud kind of individual, But no, he's long gone now.
Good. Well, I'm glad. I'm glad. I mean, I think you were. I know. Billy introduced us, Billy
Yes.
DeVos,
Mhm.
and
And if
it's like
people
we
don't know
just
who that
hit it
is,
off. As
it's,
Forrest Gump would say, peas and carrots.
right.
There you go. Yeah, yeah. I mean, you and Billy. There's a small group of people who are just so integral, and in my inner circle, people who I love and appreciate, because I've had both of you on heavy metal horror. Yeah. See, there's
Right.
me.
Huh?
There's me. A
Yeah.
ton of and I'm a different person now. I've lost a ton of weight.
Oh, I have
Um,
too.
yeah, yeah. You look good, man.
Yes.
But that's the thing I think about G Fest that I can still appreciate the friendships that I've made there. I still keep,
Right.
as obviously as we're talking now 10 years later. We're still friends and check on one another and are in one another's lives, whether here virtually or in person. So I'm just glad. I'm just really glad for you and grateful that we got a chance to meet and got to share this really kind of fun, silly nerd fandom that we have. We could let our geek flags fly
Yes,
and just
exactly.
like and just have a blast. And
Right.
so I'm really glad for that.
And while we're here, let me show some of the comments here. Shadow Ninja 77, hello, how you doing, sir? I hope you're doing okay. And Olvin here, he's yes, this I think this is going to be his first time
Oh, nice.
coming to G Fest, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. Let me see. I think what do you say?
What number is this?
Oh yeah, how many? Well, that's what he's
Many?
asking. How
Yeah.
many? Yeah. So just out off the top of your
I,
head,
I I can't even count. My first one was in '97.
okay,
I've not made every year, but
yeah,
I haven't gone. I think I forget the last one I went to. Is probably I don't know. It was right before COVID, I think.
hmm
Um, yeah,
yeah, because we did, like I said, we did see each other in 2019 for sure. I
was
remember
that?
that.
Yeah, it might have been 2020, 19. Yeah, yeah. Is that the last one before COVID? 2020.
That
So
was that was the
okay,
last one.
yeah, it
Yeah,
might have been the last time I went. It's the first
yeah,
one for Olvin. Okay, yeah,
that's what I
yeah,
thought. Yes.
yeah, yeah. And it's a big festival. I mean,
Mhm.
when I went in '97, there may have been a few hundred people there, because that was
Oh,
when
wow.
Gino was coming out the following year, and everyone was speculating because one of the guys there was one of the guests was someone who actually was like an extra, and was talking about his experience in shooting the movie, and there was a
Mhm.
lot of buzz around this American Godzilla movie, along with a lot of like hesitation. Like we saw some leaked pictures from Sony about this iguana, and we're like, oh come on, man, you're not doing an iguana, are you? you know.
Right.
Um, and they're like, "Oh no, no, that's nothing like that. We're just wanting to see how that plays with the audience." And lo and behold, the guy designing Godzilla just said, "Oh, I'll just draw my iguana." I'm like, "Oh, lazy." But anyway, um, yeah, no, it's good. That's good, man.
Okay.
I'm glad you're
Well,
going to
that
that
it,
festival.
it it's it's kind of funny because, like I say, I kind of added on to that iguana mishap. Is when I saw the trailer for the '98 Godzilla, I'm like, I'm tripping out. Me and my homie that lives here, that's close by, we were like, oh my god, this is going to be fantastic. It's going to be. And the funny thing is, just weeks or a month before the film came out, they brought out the special books, the kind of advertised the film itself, and I don't know what the hell they were thinking, but they leaked the image of what Godzilla was going to look like. And I'm like, you dumb,
Yeah.
ignorant mother effers. You know, it's like, what the hell are you doing? I mean,
Yeah.
you really.
Yeah.
And when I saw that, I really like. This is not God's. What the hell? This is
No,
what you're
no.
giving us.
Yeah, Taco Bell had those big like cup holders and things, and they had the cups. And the cups was the first thing I saw, and it was just a big foot,
Mhm.
and it said size matters. And I'm like, okay, I see a foot and a leg. Okay, no problem. And then they brought the cup holder out, and it's an iguana. It's like curled around. I'm like, oh my god, it is a fucking iguana. Jesus Christ, Uh, I'm like, well, that's a disappointment, because I went to see the movie
Mhm.
with Tim Bean, my friend Tim,
Yeah,
and
remember.
we liked the first 20 minutes. The setup I thought was good. We see the destruction, we see the ship. I'm like, okay, there's some things about this that we like, but then the more we got into it, as he so eloquently says, by the end of the movie, he wanted to put a shotgun in his mouth. I'm like, yeah, because there's just so much bad. The Siskel and Ebert guys, the ditzy
They ripped it.
blonde, the impossible, the stupidity. They're assuming the audience is such idiots that they're going to think, okay, here's an iguana who's a tropical creature, warm climate creature who's going to go to a northern temperate climb,
Mhm.
and a male iguana who is a vegetarian is now going to eat fish and also going to give birth. Um, and it just became such a terrible movie. Then the whole like mini raptors running around, it was just awful every way. It wasn't Godzilla in any way, shape, or form. Like it runs away from things. There's no heat breath. It's just like, oh my god, it's just a giant iguana. If you had called it like Iguanodon, I might have forgiven some more things with it, but
Mhm.
to call it Godzilla, and then the hubris of the people who made Godzilla, thinking they could do better than Toho. Um, I This is the last I'll talk about
That's
G98 because
that's
it's way more than it deserved. But I remember writing a really impassioned letter to Sony Pictures. It was like a 6-page
Mm.
email, and it was like shortly with like in a couple days after I sent that email, they shut the website down because I told them every way that their movie this was not Godzilla, and I just ripped them a new asshole. And so the only thing good that came out of that is that a lot of the Showa era movies and Heisei era movies that I had only in bootleg, I finally was able to get in DVD form, like real good copies
Real good, huh?
of that, and that's the only good that came out of this was the 98. And it's a travesty otherwise. So anyway,
Well, hey,
enough
you know
about
what?
that.
Look, there's always some like that old saying. Whatever you might have cold, you will find a diamond in the rough, some kind of way.
Yeah, I
So,
mean, I'm glad that I got a whole bunch of like Godzilla stuff, like finally got some really decent copies of some of the movies.
right.
But other than that, it was worthless. But that first G Fest, it was exciting, because it was new for me too. And there was a really small dealer's room, and quite crowded, and it was there wasn't nearly the stuff that there is now available. But yeah, the footprint. Yeah, there you go, Joseph. Nice. Yeah, but
So,
yeah,
well, that's good fun. But no, that's the thing. Like I say, with your first one, in '96, eventually, almost 10 years later, I would be joining the bandwagon of this incredible fest that's been going on for nearly 20 years when I first started, going.
yeah, yeah.
And I had to say, going into it, you don't know what you're going to expect. And
Right.
I have to say, the memories of it starting, and here's what's so crazy. I went to this last minute. I was not originally going to go, but somehow I was able to go at the last minute. And I say, well, I'll sucker myself into getting a room, and it's gonna be far away, but I'll just be it's gonna be a clusterfuck, basically, is what it's gonna be. So that's like, hey, it's gonna
Mm-hmm.
happen, it's gonna happen. But this is where miracles do happen. As far as we say, uh, they say miracles don't happen, but they do. And it was by this man, and well, long live him, Doug Pilton.
Oh, yeah.
It was through him, by some miracle, that I got to share a room with him because of circumstances beyond his control. That if I can arrange some money to give to him, I was like, sure, I can room with him. And
Mm-hmm.
after that, he was what I call my sensei through G Fest.
Yeah.
And let me just say, I can't stress enough what this man did for me the first time. I mean, and actually, I'm actually getting kind of choked up about thinking
Sure.
about it. But the
Yeah.
thing about it is, he was such a light at the end of the tunnel for me to, realize like this is a guy who's been going to G Fest from his infancy,
Yeah.
and unfortunately, he didn't get to go any further because of circumstances, health
Yeah.
wise. And I'm just kind of like, I could, you know what? Hold up,
It's
hold
okay,
up,
man.
okay. Let me stop talking about this because, as I say, the man, I could not pay him back if I tried because he
Yeah.
really gave me the way to open the door and just walk in and did what he did.
He
So
was a sweet, kind soul, and in a way, he kind of represents all that why we go to G Fest. He's
right,
because he's like the kid. I mean, we're all kids, inside. There's a reason why we still love these movies, and it appeals to the kid in us. And G Fest allows us to meet other people who
yes,
are like minded. And I think that's one of the great things about G Fan magazine was that most of us felt like, I mean, I was the only kid I knew who liked Godzilla until I met Tim. I was in my 20s. I was in
right.
college when a mutual friend introduced us to get to one another.
Mhm.
And he was like the only other person I knew who liked Godzilla like I did, and who knew Ultraman and Johnny Sacco, and like, oh, that's awesome. And then he got showed me G Fan magazine, and I realized we all feel like we're the only ones, but G Fan kind of brought
Right.
us together. We realized there are other people like us around the world, and then going to G Fest really was great, and like you get to share that sense of excitement and wonder and childlike love of this kind of really very niche, very kind of niche, silly kind of entertainment. I say silly like because it's a guy in a costume smashing models, uh,
Right.
but that's great. That's okay. And the motto, international understanding through Godzilla. I mean, it was so very true. So it was like it was very welcoming, very inviting, very accepting, accessible, and everyone could just go and just have a good time. And that's
That's
what I
it.
loved initially about G Fest, getting to meet people like you and Billy and other G fans, and just to kind of share that love and spend that time together. It was, for me, it was my Christmas, because I just don't like Christmas.
Yes.
I've not been a fan of Christmas for decades, but for me this was like my Christmas, and I could spend a week, a long weekend. And the more I went, the earlier I would go. Because then they started doing the movies, the double features on Thursday. I'm
Right.
like, well, I got to get there Thursday. I got to catch a double feature. And then there's a movie Friday and Saturday. Then I started staying, I would leave on Sundays, and I started staying till Monday because I would stay for the Dead Dogzilla party. And it's just like the more I went, the more I wanted to do. And that's the thing for, I'll say to the people who are going for the first time, there is going to be way more to do than you can possibly fit in the
Yes.
weekend.
Right.
Because you have panels, you have multiple panels running all the time. I
Sounds
think that might be a nice, maybe toward the end, or we can do it anytime. Or kind of like best practices. Like if you want to go to G Fest and make the most, here's some insider tips to take advantage of.
right.
And they used to give the paper like programs you would get. And then so the first thing I would do was like I would look through, see all the panels, and I would mark, physically write in the panel, like in the book, like which one I wanted to be at, because
Oh my
you had
God.
you had like 8 things going on at the same time.
Right.
And then you have to make room to see the model room. You got to make room to see the art room. You got to make room to see the video games. You got to make room, time to see all these other things. And it just became like, oh man, I really wish that someone would be recording every panel. you know
Right.
I want to see every panel, but I can't. you know uh yeah. And then all the other the contests that were there, whether it's the costume contest or the amateur video contest, which I was fortunate
Mhm.
enough to be like the judge for quite a long time.
Right.
I loved doing that. You get to see the passion behind people who turn their love for the Godzilla, making their own movies. There's just so much to do and see. That's not even including like the dealer's room,
Right.
where
That's not.
like where you will go broke really quickly.
Yes.
you know. Um, so, and this will be my last early first time people, if they're going to go to G Fest,
Yes.
go through
Exactly.
the dealer's room, make a list of what you want, that you're looking for, because you're going to see a lot more than you're going to know. But make a list of things, prioritize them, things that you really, really want, and all the way
Right.
down to like things that you can pass on, and then walk around the dealer's room, because there are multiple dealers will have the same figures or same models or toys, and note the prices, because dealers will charge different amounts. And if you can wait till Sunday on something, you can definitely generally get a better price on something, because a lot of the dealers would rather sell it at a discount than pack it up and take it home.
Right. And it's
So,
kind of funny you bring that up because I would think I would do this like years later, but I actually did this in less than 2 years where you said like prioritize what I'm going to do in
mm-hmm.
2018. I said that I was going to I was going to get every autograph, every photograph from the special guest. I was
Sure.
going to, like I say, get my, I was just gonna get because I don't collect models. I don't know if you know. I don't collect
You
figures.
like books?
I like books.
Yeah, yeah.
Memorabilia books and everything. I said I was going to get the figures for the Godzilla versus Megalon film. That's all I was going to get. And like I say, everything else it's like it just fell into place, and that was the thing I was going to do. And the one thing I will say that I did do that I said I set out to do was I was going to get a artist representation of me with Godzilla and Jet Jaguar in an art form by this great talented man.
Oh yeah, yeah. Very nice.
If I'm saying his name right. He's a very skilled artist.
Oh, his art's amazing. I got
Yeah.
his book. Yeah,
Yes, yeah,
yeah,
he's very good. He's very
yeah,
talented.
yeah.
And you would never know this guy is like he's like a few years older than I am, but he doesn't
And I
look it. But then again, ages don't look their
right,
age.
and then look behind your shoulder.
I know, dude. Dude, when I got this picture taken, I didn't realize Mr.
Yeah,
Takarada was
I
behind me.
know. Yeah, Mr.
I was like,
Takarada.
oh my god, that's.
Yes.
But that was how I was, and that's the thing about the first G Fest. The man was such a. I mean, right here,
Yeah.
he was just so lovable. Mr.
Yes. And
Takarada.
so kind, so accessible, so generous. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I see the look of joy on your face right there in that
Yes.
moment. And that's what makes my heart happy. Like, I remember that. Those feelings are real. And that's the thing I will say. GFest has afforded all of us fans the opportunities that we would never ever have otherwise. I mean,
Yes.
and you would never have an opportunity like this if you would go to like a con here in the States. Like, you go get William Shatner's autograph, you're gonna get in line, you're gonna get his autograph, you're gonna spend 5 seconds with him, and you're gonna be gone. Like,
Right. That's the thing. Yes.
and I have so many wonderful memories to talk about how our guests would like interact with the fans. I mean, I could go on for 10 minutes talking about all the wonderful things. Like Takarada would approach, and like my friend Tim made a beautiful G Fest. He works in a print shop and in a
Mm-hmm.
framework, and so he took pictures, a collage, and then
Mm-hmm.
and then sent it to him at his house, because my friend Tim started a company, Japan Legends, and was
Right.
representing Akira Takarada, right, and other guests as well. And so that picture, there's a picture of the two of us, the Takarada and myself, in one of the pictures, and so I'm like, I am in Mr. Takarada's house, um, yeah, and just the opportunities, that's great. And I will share my probably my most awesome memory. Like, when you first met Takara, the joy on your face. There was one year,
Yeah.
it was Mr. Kitagawa was with
Okay.
us. He plays the Millennium Godzilla, and we were out there, and so Billy and I were out there, and just we were smoking cigars,
Mm-hmm.
and Tom and his translator come out, and I'm like, oh, so we were talking, and I offered him a cigar. And I cut it for him, and I lit it for him, and we were smoking. And I had the really long hair and a beard at the time because I was shooting a movie, and so he didn't really speak English, but he thought I looked like Hagrid from Harry Potter. So he just said, "Oh, Harry Potter," and so I'm sitting
Okay.
there, and like, I'm smoking cigars with Godzilla. Like, it was like the most mind blowing thing in the world. And then he like takes his. And I got the great picture of us like smoking our cigars, and he
Yeah.
peeks out his phone. He's like showing me his house and his pets and his children. We're like, I'm like, holy fuck! This is the most surreal moment, smoking a cigar with Godzilla, and I had I was just blown away by it. And the next year I saw him at a different convention,
Hmm.
and I had my movie done at the time. So I actually printed out a picture of the two of us
Right.
smoking, and then I wanted him to have a copy of my movie, and so he asked me to sign it, which I thought was just so sweet that he would ask me to sign it for him. And then I gave him a picture, and he remembered me. He goes, "Oh, Harry Potter," and um, he asked me to sign the picture to him. I'm like, I got to autograph a picture for Godzilla. I mean, that is, it was just so amazing. And then later that night, I had heard that because I had cut the cigar for him and I lit it for him, I had not even thinking about the idea of reverence, because in
Mhm.
Japanese culture, you offer someone. And
Yes.
in fact, he was telling other people how honored he felt that I would cut a cigar for him, I would light it for him. And I'm thinking,
Mhm.
oh my God, it made me cry, because that meant so much to him. And
Yeah.
and for me, it was just like the coolest thing in the world that I am smoking a cigar with Godzilla. It was, and that is the kind of moment that G Fest has allowed us fans to have with these guests, because they interact with the fans. And you can go to a Toy Story convention and Tom Hanks is not going to smoke a cigar with you. I'm sorry, it's just not going to happen.
No, I
I
mean,
mean,
because
yeah, it's just not. But coming over to Japan from Japan, in Japan they're used to getting reverence and respect. But when they came here, they got love and adoration, and it's such a powerful thing for them, and that's what makes it great, because they really love that, and they're not used to it. And so I remember when who was it? Oh goodness, long COVID has ruined my memory. uh I'll remember later, but he's been in the most Godzilla movies.
Kenji Sahara.
Kenji Sahara.
Yes.
um yes, and remember when it was his first G-Fest.
Hmm.
And when he stepped up, he didn't know what to expect, and so he got on stage, and like everyone stood up and applauded, and they started like crying, like because he was overwhelmed with adoration. And then of course everyone is crying. We're all sobbing, oh, and all we want to do is just say thank you, just that little bit of thank you for everything that he's given back. And so that's the experience that he takes home and begins telling his other friends, like, this festival is amazing because these American fans who knew that these so many people in North America knew us, let
Yeah.
alone want to see us, so just being able to make a connection for a brief moment to say thank you, that means everything. And
And
so yeah.
that's a beautiful notion because I like I say the way you're telling that and expressing that, that's exactly how I got that feeling when I went to my first. It's like this picture here. This is a very famous
Yeah,
picture
Linda
with
Miller,
me,
right.
Linda Miller, and talking about it,
Yeah,
both for the King Kong escapes and everything.
right.
But the thing about it is that this is my first interaction with actual celebrities, which I can say right now, they do not let that go to their heads. That's the thing
Right.
about it. That they're not like these Western,
Right. There's no
individuals.
pretension, there's no arrogance, there's no
Yes,
conceit. It's very humble, they're appreciative, they're
yes.
friendly. I actually have a signed green slime poster.
Oh,
Linda
do
Miller
you?
signed, yeah, over here. Yeah, I can point to it right there. It's right, it's right there.
Okay, I think.
Um, Now, her first year, Tim and I went to pick up the guests at the hotel or at the
Mhm.
airport. And Linda drove with my car. I picked her up and I took her in my car.
Oh, wow.
And we were talking, and like the first thing I said, "Oh, it's so nice to meet you." I said, "I'm such a big fan of the green slime," and she's like, "Oh no!" I go,
Oh,
"No, no, it's fantastic." And then she told me the story of how she got in it, because her friend was
yeah,
a model, and she got in the movie, and then they saw her together, and they asked her, "Oh, do you want to be in this movie?" And she's like, "Yeah, why not?" And it was like just just a couple scenes, but I just thought, "Oh, that's just great." But she does the circuit and she gets that love too, and it's just really fun,
right.
to see that. But I mean, it's not the first time I was able to like meet a guest at the airport. Like JD asked me one,
Wow.
Tim and me, to if we wanted to go. We picked up, it was Kenji, or it was, Hiroshi Sege,
Hmm.
and there were a couple other ones who were coming in, and they were the guests of honor that year. There was three of them,
Hmm.
and we got to meet them at the hotel, and then come home with them in the van. And we were talking about like one of the guests, he was in some of the Gamera movies, and he's a drummer also, and I'm a
Hmm.
drummer. So we were talking about playing drums and jazz music and drummers that we liked, and I'm like, holy crap, I'm talking. It was just so cool. And this was the year that the guests would come, or they would have them in a small room back in the day before you had to buy like the tickets and things like that. You just come in a
Right.
room.
Is that the dinner, the special dinner that
No,
they
no,
do?
this was way before that. It was just,
Okay.
but
Something.
the way that, as the convention got bigger, they kind of moved the autograph place from place to
Mhm.
place, because before it used to be in the one of in a larger like sunken area where all the guests were at a long table, and this was before you paid for autographs. You could have anything signed, and they stopped doing that
Oh,
because people were bringing like entire stacks for to be
yeah.
signed.
I was like,
Like
come
everything signed. Um, but this so it was just kind of nice. But but this was a small room. You go in,
on. Mhm.
and the three of them were there, three or four of them were there talking. And on the Sunday, there was like maybe 20 people came in the 2 hours they were there. So I was there, Tim was there, and we were just hanging out. And like for the most part, we just had the room with them. It's just us. I'm like, my God, we like have a captive audience with these guys. We can just talk about anything. And we did. And then just listen to them talk and share their stories and just joke around. And, it was just like, here's this really special moment that everyone else is out doing things, and we got 2 hours alone with these guests that we can just talk about anything and everything. Yeah, it was just really
Because
awesome.
you can't get that with. Yeah, I was gonna say you can't get that with these modern day celebrities. You can't get with them, and you say with like William Shatner, maybe even Tom Cruise. You can't get that kind
No,
of interaction because, like I say, with Mr. Takarada, when I first went to get his autograph, I have to share this little tidbit because this is so funny, but at the same time, it stayed with me since then. This little anecdote when I'm nervous, I'm approaching him. I'm just like, oh
sure,
my god, this is the man who's been in all these famous Godzilla films and other, bits
yeah,
and everything. So I really put on my, like strong face, and gave him, a picture that I'm going to get him to sign, for autograph and everything. So he asked me where I'm from. So I told him I'm from Louisiana. Now, this is something I took aback by because I was not expecting his reaction. It's like, Louisiana, it's like, oh, really? It's like his mannerism with it's like it almost made me feel like he's never met someone from Louisiana before. It's like
yeah,
I'm the first, because if I am the first, it's like, oh my God, it's like
yeah,
no way, because like you mentioned before, you think like you're the only person in the stratosphere that that's a Godzilla fan or whatever, and here in Louisiana, especially here where I live at, there's not a gravitas of many fans of Godzilla. There's just not, just I'm one of them anomalies that exist and everything. But when he said that with such gratitude, with such enthusiasm, I was kind of like, wow, it's like I wasn't expecting him to say that. I mean, I'm expecting him, just like, oh, okay, just like that. Now he's like,
sure,
oh, Louisiana. It's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
whoa,
And in that moment, you are the only person in the world, and that's how
yeah,
he treated
right.
every fan. Because I said I was from Ohio, and he said, "Oh, Ohio is a very similar." Like, oh, it's like nice to meet you, Ohio.
Mhm.
Um, and yes, he was like that with every fan, and
See?
just took the time and every moment was special, and he appreciated it. Now here's a star that in America we don't appreciate, but in the rest of the world,
Mhm.
it's like take the best actor and singer and performer, put them all together. I mean, he's like the A list of A list. He's like a
Yes.
megastar, and he was just hanging out with us, and but he loved that about the fans here in the West, because like the first, I think first or second G tour that they went, he called the tour every day, wanted to make sure they were okay. Like
Mhm.
they're driving on a bus, he wanted to check in. He got them into Toho Studios. They weren't really supposed to go in because Toho, like,
That was
famously does
truly
not let people in. They don't have visitors come in.
right.
But because of who he is, they said, yes, Mr. Takarado, we will let these people in. Now that's huge pull. And so that's the time where the people got to see the oxygen destroyer. And then he also called his friends and said, "Hey, come to visit this group of G fans. They're wonderful people." And so he had other people come in. And at night, he took
Wow.
them all out to this restaurant, and he was pouring sake. Talk about honor. Being poured sake by Akira Takarada. He was buying the sake and hanging out with everybody. Like he did not have to do any of that, but he did because he loved the fans as much as they loved him. You know, and
Wow.
like, but those moments, and others like Ken Satsuma, when he was there the last time, he
Yes.
came out before the costume parade, and he was wearing this gorgeous robe, and it was just like he looked like a
Mhm.
samurai. It was
I remember
just
that.
so beautiful. He was teaching all the people in the Godzilla costumes how to act and move like Godzilla. I'm thinking, oh my god, this is quintessential Jeepus. This is like the perfect thing. He's showing them how to move and how he did it, and so that they could imitate his move. I'm like, oh,
Mhm.
that that was beautiful. And I know I'm rambling, but I got so many
No.
memories. Um, the last one, I forget his name. He was a director who passed shortly after GFest. Like 6 months later, he had passed, unfortunately. But I saw
Oh.
him in the lobby of the hotel,
Mhm.
and he was sitting down with kids who were playing with their figures. He sat down with them and was like playing Godzilla with them,
Yeah.
with figures. It'd be like going to a convention and seeing Tom Hanks play Woody with kids who were doing the rest of Toy Story. It was like that kind of moment. I'm like,
Kind of moment. Yeah.
yeah, and Hiroshi Sagai was so great and so funny. He was such a good artist. All my DVDs I had signed by him, the Gamera trilogy.
Mhm.
He drew little caricatures of either Gamera or Iris on them, and he gave me a medallion. He had made these little buttons, and so I have one of like the last buttons that he had made. I'm so grateful for that, and. I was handing out copies of my first movie, and so I gave him a copy of my first movie. I said, I just want you to have this. I don't know if he could watch it in Japan; it might be a different region, but I just
Yeah.
wanted him to have it. He's like, "Oh, wait, hold on," and he opens up his bag because he was getting ready to leave. It was on Sunday, and I just thought, "Oh, I just want to give you this. Just here, just thank you." And he opened up a bag and he pulls out this like Ultraman gift bag, like a had a gun as a gun,
Oh,
and a figure and a car and stuff. And it was from the Ultraman series that he had helped design, and he had gotten, and he gave it to me. I'm like, no, no, no. He goes, no, no, no. I want you to have it. I'm like, I'm like, that's just that such a reciprocity, that special, like he was such a fun, giving, loving person. Like those moments, that's what's gonna stick with me. Like
oh, that's
that's what's I'm gonna take away with. I mean, I've met some amazing guests. I got to meet Ben Faruya and do the Ultraman thing.
right. Yeah. I mean, you.
I mean,
Yeah.
everyone, you got to do the pose. And I just want to say thank you. I met, when I talked with Kenji Sahara, I mentioned it on your last podcast where I talked to him about Matango and how
Yeah.
it's, how much it scared me as a kid that to that day I had never willingly eaten a mushroom. And he just thought that was hilarious. He just loved that. But
Yeah.
just those moments, and like it's so like talked to my inner child, and it was so pure and perfect, that inner child, just to have a moment where I could say thank you for making my childhood so filled with wonder and excitement and monsters, and you know um and to have that for the weekend, and just
Even
them
for a
hanging
short
out. Yeah,
time.
because they didn't stick away in their rooms. They were out with the people. They were,
Yes.
they were just hanging out, and like, oh man, that is really just special.
It's like, like, you don't have to do any of these things. You don't have to mingle with the people, but it's like when you interact, it's like you actually matter.
Yeah,
The fans matter. I
yeah,
mean, and truth be told, because we're going to get to that in a minute. You know, I realized that that's exactly what makes going to G Fest worth going to.
hmm,
Because I know when I went in 2019, Peggy Neal was there, who's in
yeah,
from outer space,
right.
and I went to get the autograph from her and also get a picture with her. And this was something she came out of the blue. I didn't ask for it. I didn't beg for it. Nothing like that. She decided she's going to sit in my lap while we take the picture.
Oh, that's
And
awesome.
I'm telling you right now, look, if you see the picture of me, you probably see the picture of me, but my picture was like a million miles wide because I'm
Yeah.
like, no way is somebody who's been
Uh-huh.
in these films is actually doing this to take. I mean, it's like I'm pretty sure she like say she's going to get clout for it anyway, But
Sure.
I'm like, oh no! I'm like, I
Yeah.
did ask, but I'm like, no. It's like that's a little bit much. But it's like, you know what? I'll go with it. I'll roll
Right.
with it.
Hey, if you want to
And
sit on my lap, that's awesome. Yeah,
yes,
you're my girlfriend now.
that's that's how I had to look at it.
Yeah,
But
no, that's beautiful. That's I love that,
but
man. I
those
love
are the
that for you.
moments that I love. I love, and unfortunately, she passed away some
Yeah.
time later. I'm sad to say.
Right, right.
But a lot of these people are not with us anymore. Mr.
I
Tucker,
know, I know. And I mean,
thing.
yeah,
You
it
know.
is amazing, and they're passing. These Showa era actors are they're they're getting up there in years, and
Mhm.
even the Heisei, like Ken Satsuma, no longer
Yes,
with us. I mean, Tom Kanagawa's still with us, thankfully,
he is.
um, and as well as a lot of some of the other actors left, and there are a few I would have really loved to have met. It would have been nice, but for different reasons
Mm.
they couldn't come or whatever. But I'm grateful that I got a chance to be around all these people and to just be part of the group that just said thank you and to share our experiences, with them and that it's still so meaningful to them.
Right.
That's what's awesome. That's what's really, really great.
Because
And
stuff like this, the costume
yeah,
parade. I mean, you
right.
got things like that are really such a
Yeah.
blessing for the ones who make these costumes and go out there and do. And it's like they don't have to do that, but it's like I mean, it's not so much an impression on the people who are there who've
Yeah.
seen this stuff. It's an impression on them knowing that again, as I said, they matter.
Yes.
These individuals
Yeah.
matter.
Right. Well, I know one year I had an injury. I had fallen and I blew my meniscus out in my
Mm-hmm.
right knee, and I couldn't walk, so I was in a wheelchair. And
Okay.
so I was
Was
helping
that
him.
in 2016 or was that before that?
I'm not sure. It was
Because I remember you having a wheelchair.
well, it was the Final Wars. It was this celebration of Final
Okay, that
Wars,
wasn't
and
that.
the captain was
Yeah,
there,
okay.
and so I was helping out behind the G Fest booth, and helping like sell copies of G Fest and just kind of helping out.
Mhm.
And so my friend Tim went and told him, hey, my friend's in a wheelchair and he'd like to come see you, and I didn't know he did this, but he just comes up and shows up, and he says, hey, I just want to say hi. I'm like, oh my god, and I'm like, oh, this is awesome, and I hobbled on my one good leg, and I said, can we get a picture, and then the next year, our friend Stan Hyde was hanging out with him, and knowing that he likes cigars, I always bring cigars to G Fest, as you know, and so I gave him some cigars, and so I got some pictures of us like hanging out. We were hanging out at the table together, smoking cigars together, like
Yeah.
another great cigar story. Cigars and G Fest go well together, and that was just again another. He went way out of his way for one fan, me, to come see me and to make that moment for me. I just thought, wow, that was just really something way above and beyond. So I was really happy to bring him cigars and to thank him, for that. But no, it's just there are so many things about GFest that are wonderful. I mean, there really are. And I will always be grateful for the opportunities I've had and the memories that I'm going to carry with me for the rest of my life.
Yes. Same
And
here.
that and the friendships like with you, and
Yeah.
that's what keeps us good for me. There are so many good parts. I mean, there's some bad ones too, as we'll talk about, but there are
Yes. Yeah.
so many
Exactly.
good parts that
Mhm.
I can truly be thankful for and come away going, God, I never would have had this experience had I not done this, had I not gone to G Fest. And
Because who
so
knows if what
yeah,
would happen if I didn't go that year? I mean, I probably would
yeah,
say well, I'm never going to go at all. But
right.
fortune favors the foolish. I was able to go, and there we go.
Yeah,
As you say, our friendship blossomed from that, and others did too.
yeah.
And but as you say, unfortunately, behind closed doors, there are things going on that I was even privy to. I mean, now granted that this man here, JD Lees, who I got a
Hmm.
picture with, And I realized, boy, I really was big back then. My God, dude, I've lost a lot of weight. Good
Yeah,
night.
I'm happy for you, brother.
Jesus. Okay. But anyway, the point of it is like he was somebody who started something that you say that was fresh and pure and was something to
Yeah,
the
really united fandom on this side. I mean, with a
but
simple newsletter that
mhm,
that's how I introduced Tim Bean again. I thank him so much. He started me on the path of G fan, and I became a fan. Like I read all of his, I'm like I became a subscriber. Uh, yes, he created this, and so he created something wonderful and beautiful. He really did.
but as you say though,
But
I know this
there are
for
some things that have happened over the years, and that
and
are
I was
unfortunate.
and look, I was what's sad about this. I know it's happened to you, but sadly for me, I've had some things occur that was like, oh my God, this cannot be happening, you know. And then when I hear about it, and like I say, the little tales you told me, I was kind of like, that happened? This was going on? And
Yeah.
I'm like, in one, and I'm not going to mention the person's name, but it has something to do with pedophilia. But I mean,
Oh,
it's I won't like say one name because
yeah.
I'm not trying to put that person's name on blast like that. I'm just saying that that was something tricky, and then it's something dealing with. I think like you was making films or you was doing with some deal or something, and someone stuck you in the back or something. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, I mean you explain to me if that's what
Well,
went down.
no. I mean, there were some things that went just badly. I mean, some of the guests. I mean, we had a translator for a long time.
Right.
Robert Scott, um, and he uh, he was translating, but he also took advantage of the more naive, I think, G fans, including myself, and he was basically kind of conning people, selling into this multi-level marketing garbage. And I was one of those fools who thought, oh, hey, he wants to involve me. Oh, that's awesome. He wanted. I'm like, that's who's this guy to call me from Japan? And we talked on the phone, and I thought he's my friend and all these things, and then to find out, just it wasn't that. At all, and that's why the reason why he's not at G Fest anymore is because he would try, Takarada had to put his foot down. It was
Right.
Takarada only, and said, "I'm not coming if he's going to be there,"
Right.
because the guests didn't really like him because he would try to ride on their coattails, and he was the ugly American, which is so bad, and would try to insert himself into their projects, and would make these false boasts about things. And but
Mhm.
it was the multi-level marketing thing. It was the pyramid scheme that he was selling and tried to get a lot of people to invest in. That was a really shitty thing. And I'm one of the fools who invested, unfortunately,
Mhm.
But yeah, and it just didn't get nipped in the bud. It didn't get addressed like it should have been, and that was a major problem, for people like me. Really soured me against G Fest, against the fandom, and
Right.
it's an unfortunate. I mean, there are other things that have happened, um, you know, but I don't want it to taint the good memories. But
That's what I was gonna say. That.
but it's a reason why I don't feel like going anymore. I mean, there's
Mhm.
been things happening, especially with the COVID era, a lot of stuff that happened, a lot of decisions that were made, a lot of things that were said that really were hurtful and ignorant, and it's kind of soured me against supporting what's going on. So like, and it's okay. I mean, there are a lot of other cons, but I will temper that. Like, I may not ever go back to G Fest. If I do, maybe I will go like a couple of days before it starts, and just so I can see people, not necessarily go to G Fest, but get a room, hang out with some friends, But it's just unfortunate that as this whole political stuff and COVID, and then all the retribution against the artists who didn't
I'm
like
about to go
those
upstairs.
things,
Sorry.
and that's part of the problem. Well, we're not going to have the artists anymore. We're going to cut that out. I'm like, it's just so petty and stupid, because after a while, I would buy more art than I would buy toys. Like, yeah, I have
Right.
the figures, I have everything I want. I would start really supporting the artists because I was doing interviews with some of the artists in GFan. I mean, I've had publications in GFan, and I'm grateful for that.
Nice.
Yeah, like it's the fan part of the fanzine is that fans contribute, and I still have. I mean, I got my GFan, issue 150. it's bittersweet. I've got them
Yes,
all.
I know, right?
It's sad to see it go because I've really enjoyed it. But I understand. I understand those things.
Yeah.
So I'm I'm I don't want to paint too broad of strokes, but it's been enough of a negativity that makes me really cautious. And it's not the
Mhm,
people, it's just the politics and the hypocrisy. Like, no, it just
mhm.
it wasn't good. Now things may be changing since other people have taken over. Peyton's taking over, and I don't know. I'm hopeful that it'll get back to the point where of the G Fest that I remember. It may not. I don't know, but what I'm sad about is of not going is don't get to spend time with my friends.
Right.
I mean, it's not about getting more toys. Like, yeah, I got enough.
Right. You mean
Yeah,
because I've even said this. I've said that G Fest is not the it's what makes G Fest is not the people who come, not what you buy, not what you it's the people who you interact with,
yeah,
those
yeah,
individuals. That's what
100%.
makes G Fest what it is. And it's kind of funny you bring that up at I was talking to someone on another chat, and it's kind of funny, because someone was asking, I know Walter, I know you're going and everything, you're going, but there's others that I haven't seen in a while
Hmm.
that are never returning, and they pretty much laid it out and says like, there's so many things that it's not the same. As you mentioned before, it kind of leaves a bad taste in the mouth, and
It
it's
does.
not
Yeah.
what's the. And this is the thing I have to bring up. When I was green, when I went to my first one, I was extremely confident, very, in terms of, wanting to go because I said I'm going to be going to these G Fests until I can't go no more. I'm just that's how
Yeah.
it is. It's funny how in 10 years your mindset changes from what you was thinking then to now
Yeah.
because
It's unfortunate you get pulled in, and like
yes,
the bittersweet, the double-edged sword is I was so grateful to be pulled into the inner circle and have be able to
mhm,
do the costume or the video amateur video contest, and I enjoyed every minute of that. And I'm grateful to JD for asking me to take part of that. I
right,
really am. Um, as it turned out, so other things got it, became prioritized. But um, it's unfortunate things happen the way they do, and but I do understand that. It's like you see how the sausage is made, and you don't want to eat that sausage.
right,
And so I miss being able to go and just seeing like the good part. It's like you don't see the man
yeah,
behind the curtain. You see the wizard, but then
mhm,
when you see
yeah.
the curtains drawn, you see the guy like, oh shit, this is what
It's
And
like
it does.
don't
It kind of
ignore that person behind the curtain.
exactly. In a way, it kind of does, and it's kind of like
Yeah,
okay, and maybe it's because the reaction was so strong because it was something that
that's what it is.
the 6-year-old in me, the 8-year-old in me, the 10-year-old in me was like, oh my god, this is like nirvana. This is the best thing in the world.
Yes,
And then you see the very real human side of it, and human side, it's messy, it's ugly sometimes, and it's hurtful sometimes, and then so I understand that too. So like I said, I'm trying to find a balance. I'm not
mhm,
saying never, but
right.
and now it's just so big. It's like I don't know if I'd feel comfortable being around 7,000 people in a con. It's just too big for right now for me personally. But I'm glad for its success
Hmm.
because we see a
It's
lot more
okay.
people, and it moved from being a sausage fest when I first started going to now it's really family friendly.
Yes,
Is really inclusive because a lot of people who come to I mean, it's really especially welcoming for people on the spectrum, adults
yes,
and children. I mean,
that's
there are a lot of people on the spectrum who are Godzilla fans, and this place made them feel comfortable and made them feel, welcome. And one of the things I loved doing, I would volunteer at the registration desk because I wanted to be the welcoming face of G Fest.
right.
And 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 that was the first time, and especially with with people who are on the spectrum, and like the parents would come up to me, like they would see me, and they'd say, "Oh yeah, we were at the registration desk, and you gave us good advice or this or that," and they would tell me like, my child usually is so quiet or not nonverbal, but they don't have any other friends who share this. But here, they're acting like a normal kid, and they're playing and they're interacting with other kids. And I said that's what makes GFS so special because there are a lot of people on the spectrum here, and
Mhm.
it's a welcoming environment. And so being able to see that and seeing how grateful those parents were and how appreciative, that made it feel extra special. And I felt really good about helping get these parents in the right way or giving them the insider tips, like, the dealer's room, here's how to navigate that, or, whatever it is. And then the things to see. Yeah, definitely go to the Pickwick. You want to see the movie on the big screen, you know, all those things. And to get them on the right start, because it is such a special event. It is really is. And I'm sure it's still going to be great. And,
Yeah.
so I'm not trying to be some bitter, "Yarr,"
No, yeah.
it has been a source of hurt too. I mean, I cannot deny feeling ripped off. So it's at some part, the whole thing with Scott, and it's like, those things should never have happened.
And I'll
Um,
ask you this little question then. Looking back when you went to your first one,
hmm
back in '97 to now, I mean,
hmm
looking back, what would you tell your younger self back then about what I mean? It's like keep that momentum, but what would you tell your younger self in that moment? If
I
you
would
could,
say I had to tell myself to temper my expectations and to not think that this was realizing that just because we're here, the inner child has to protect himself, like enjoy it, but also understand that the adult has to have some sensibilities as well. And I think for me, it was like allowing that to go away and like just sharing that childlike glee, and enthusiasm with other people, but to just realize that sometimes the more makes you enjoy it a little bit less. So I would not have
exactly.
traded my other experiences. I would not have traded my time as a video contest judge for anything, because I loved it. I loved getting those videos
Right.
early and watching them and seeing the love and the passion. I love that part. I appreciate that. I that there are so many. Like I said, there are 90% of my experiences have been positive. The 10% of bad ones have been pretty bad, but
Yeah.
I would just tell myself, um, well, don't give money to Scott. He's a con artist. Um, but I would also just say, look, there's people here, and it's unfortunate that politics crept into it. That's really unfortunate. Me,
Yeah.
I'm a purist. I don't like politics invading other things. Keep that stuff separate. Had
Right.
that not crept in, I would probably still be there this year.
Mhm.
But so that's why I'm hopeful that at some time I could return. But it's kind of like in A Christmas Story, where Ralphie gets his little orphan Annie decoder ring,
Yeah.
and he decodes the message, and it's "Be sure to drink your Ovaltine," and he's like, "Son of a bitch." That's
Right.
kind of how I feel. Like a sadder and wiser man. That's kind of how I feel.
That's a
Uh,
very good analogy right there. It's like that's
yeah.
exactly how you should.
Yes. And that's it. That's it exactly. So,
Yeah.
but if you're there for the first time, go have a good time.
Yes.
Enjoy it for what it is. There's more than you're ever going to be able to do. Have a great time. If you want to get more involved, it can be more enriched. Like I said, I got pulled in and I met the guests and doing these wonderful things. That's all good things. Um, and so it's really only a couple things that have happened that have, and I've just had to temper my expectations, saying once politics comes in, that's when things get messy, unfortunately. So if you don't want to get to the mess, then just enjoy it as a fan, and I think you're going to have the greatest weekend in your life.
And it's like I say again, it's a sad thing. It's a sad notion, but it's an awful truth too that
Yeah.
politics. I don't know why that is always the case. No matter what I've attended to, whatever I've been a part of, it's almost seemed like that's like a mag. It's like a moth to a flame with politics coming into every venture of anything that we hold dear. But I guess in the end, like, well, it's only a humanistic kind of thing, and that's the
hmm
reason why it happens, And G
Yeah.
Fest was not immune from it,
No,
unfortunately.
exactly. And that's the sad part. It's like with everything else, it comes in, and I guess for now, I would not have the same kind of sense of naivete. I could enjoy parts of it for what it gives, and for that, I will still be grateful. You know,
No.
um, so if I did go back, it would be because of people like you. I want to see people like you and spend that time with them.
Yes.
Um, and I because like G Fan has run a fanzine made by fans. G-Fest is the same way. So what I still love is that there is so much passion that goes into it. And I think it's maybe why people fight so much. You know, whether it's the costume parade going on for 2.5 hours, way too fucking long.
You're all
Get
right.
them out there. Don't make them wait. You just shove them in there, you know? Um, but you see the passion and dedication that go into making costumes every bit as much as I saw the passion and dedication that went into making these videos, you know? And people were proud of these and they want everyone to show them off. Of course, I get it. I've been watching these videos. I understand. Everyone who does a panel is, you know, I've been fortunate to sit on a panel. I never like headed one, but I was sat in on a panel. I was part of a panel, and like
Mhm.
I loved it. I love the fact that we all love this so much that we want to share it. We want to talk about it. We want to bring our unique interpretations of it, our own twists, and what we think about it, and make it an engaging and fun, entertaining kind of thing, you know. And
Mhm.
that is still wonderful about you know, this fan driven convention, you know, unlike any other convention that I have ever been to. And and it's because of the people. I think for the most part these people are good, and they're fun, and they're tapping into that kind of sense of wonderment, and the guests are really great. Yes, thank you.
Yes,
um, right,
agrees with that.
yeah, you feel it, and that's what's so wonderful. So I'm glad that G-Fest is still here. I'm glad that people are still wanting to do panels and
Yes.
show their models off, and show their art and play video games, and it's expanded so much to so many different offerings and so many different things. It's evolved as it's gotten bigger. I mean, we're in a different hotel now, for crying out loud. It's
I'm right.
Yeah, I mean the Crown Plaza. Like, oh, I'm so
couldn't
used to
hold it. Couldn't hold that mass anymore. They
I
had to put
know,
it
I
in.
know. I mean, the other time we were in that other hotel was there was
Oh,
something going with the Crown one year. They were doing renovations or something happened, so we got shifted over to another hotel,
yeah.
and it was so funny. It was the one year because there was also an adult porn convention.
Oh my God! I
Yeah,
think I remember you.
right, and it was like a cross pollination between like some, and I could tell some of the porn actors were coming over to the adult industry were coming over to G Fest. I'm like, wow, that's a really interesting vibe because they're coming over looking like they're starring in a, you know, getting ready to
Yeah.
start a
Some
movie.
kind
Like,
of
oh, you're here for G Fest. Awesome. Great. You know? Um, but
nice.
that's that's again another like crazy memory. Like, okay, that's great.
Wow.
You know? No, I there's still so many good things about it. And there's still I get it. The kid in me still wants to be there, wants to
Mhm.
share that because it is so unique and special, and it is like a place of happiness for a lot of it. Um,
Right.
and like what you have said, it's because the people, and I mean every year, you know, there's always panels. Stan Hyde's going to do his sing along, you know, at the end,
Hmm.
and you're going to do your dance and all these things, and I just love that there's way more people who want to do panels than there's room for panels because we all love this. We all want to be a part of it. We all want to share our love in as many ways as we can. And so that's awesome. And I've never been to any other conventions. I've been to other fan conventions or, you know,
Mhm.
conventions, but there was nothing like this. Nothing at all like my experience with G Fest. And
Right.
so that I hope it continues another 30 years, you know.
Even
Uh,
though we, like I said, even with the one, even if the things that put the bad light on
Yes,
it, it's
even
like
even
still,
right, even
yeah,
though right, even though some bad things
makes
happen.
sense.
Um,
Because you want the others who come to next
yes,
generation to kind of experience the joy that we've
right.
experienced. That
I don't
because
want my 10% of really bad stuff to outweigh the
right,
90% of the good, you know? And
because
and
that's
that's what I'm
me.
trying to be balanced here. I'm trying to find some sense of balance. I mean, there were a lot of years where I'm like, oh fuck it, I'm done. I'm never going back again because the hurt was so
Right,
great because that child was like, well, taking advantage of her. This is just ridiculous. And the hypocrisy. Now, I'm a person who hates hypocrisy. You know, like, no, I will not tolerate that. So if things change and go back to where they were, then that would be something that would say, okay, you know, maybe you can go and attend this. But if not, that's okay too. You know, I mean, but it would just be a shame. I'm not going to let it stop me forever. But right now, it's like it's not a priority. And usually July I'm riddled with kidney stones anyway, so it's not pleasant. I mean, the very first time I had kidney stones was at G Fest. So,
Oh my
yeah,
God.
I didn't
Okay.
even know what they were. I just saw I was sick. I'm like, oh, and I'm driving home. I had a 6-hour drive from Chicago, and I'm like, got kidney stones. I'm trying to drive in 6 hours by myself, and sick as a dog. So there's a lot to So like, there's a lot of reasons why I think I'm just going to stay home and
Work
not
on you
bother
for a
driving.
minute before I go.
Yeah, and that's nothing to GFest. GFest did not cause my kidney stones.
Yeah,
I'm not.
right. It's like that's a whole other.
No,
This is something
it's
totally.
just that's just how it lined
Life
up.
intervenes.
Yeah, 11. The last 11 summers, 11 Julys. This has been like, hey, guess what? It's like Christmas. Kidney stones. You know.
Oh God, that's something funny. Well,
Yeah.
brother, we're gonna wrap it up here because, like I say, that's because, like I say, I mean, after this, I mean, I'm getting so overwhelmed by when we telling these stories and everything. It's just like, oh my
Mhm.
goodness, But that's exactly why I say I wanted someone like yourself to come on here because it's such kind of like revigorate. I can't even say the words. It's such a refreshing thing to know that that's what G Fest is about. I
Yeah.
mean, yes, it has its dark side, but
Right.
we should never let that.
Everything does.
Yeah,
Everything does.
exactly.
And the
But
deeper you go into something, you more you see those flaws. And I don't. The flaws shouldn't stop anyone from going. Even me, a cynical bastard like me, it shouldn't prevent from going and enjoying parts of it. But before we go out, I would like to do for the people who are going for the first time, maybe like a best
hit
practice.
it.
Here's the inside. I mean, there's no more paper programs
Yeah,
anymore,
they've
which
gone
is
digital.
sad because I've often also used that as an autograph thing. I have one program that has a lot of autographs in it, but plan out what you want to do when you get to GFest, and you can go online. I think they even post the schedule like on
They have
gfan.com.
this. It's on schedule. It's on the schedule now. It's on
Yeah,
online.
so you can go and check out, plan ahead, because again, you've got like 8 or 10 things happening at the same time every hour all day. If you can go early, if you can go on Wednesday or even Thursday, that's awesome, because Thursday you have 2 double features at the Pickwick. That's right, not one but 2 double features.
Few double
A
features.
great way
Yes.
to take a nap, because I would drive 6 hour or 4.5 hours from Tim's house. We would get there, we would go to the Pickwick to watch one of the double features, and I'd
Mhm.
make it through the first one, belly full of popcorn. I'm excited, and usually by the second one, that hit me, I'm sleeping. Um, but you want to go to see the movies on the big screen if you can, because the guests who are in the movies, they usually show a movie with our guests,
Right.
like when Takarada was in. I mean, they were showing movies with Kiro Takarada in them, so that
Mhm.
was wonderful, and he would be able to talk about them, and just sharing that moment, watching him watch his own movie. Now that was just great, and it's a beautiful theater, so definitely want to do that. Um, so plan ahead. You cannot see everything, unfortunately. Spend time, go to the art room, check it out, watch. They have the videos playing all around. Check out the costume parade.
Yep.
Definitely check out the amateur videos, because there's a lot of passion in art, or a lot of passion involved with that. Have fun. I mean, don't.
Live.
Yeah, and you're going to be overwhelmed. Now, the line for the dealer's room didn't used to be as long. The last time I was there, there were people like sleeping out in the line. Like,
Yes.
dude, like, you can get everything you want online, but that's cool because the dealer's room is so packed anymore. Like before, the initial rush would be busy, but then by Sunday it would be pretty vacant. You could just walk around.
Yeah.
Oh no, the last time I was there, it was as busy on Sunday afternoon as it was Friday night, or Friday morning. It was like,
Really? Okay.
oh yeah, it was like, holy
Uh,
crap. It was insane and packed wall to wall. Definitely make a list of things that you want, prioritize them, get your prices ahead of time, and do see everything you can. Go to all the panels, have fun, go out to lunch, go to dinner. If you're going to get pizza delivered, expect to pay a lot of money. I got a deep dish. I got a pizza delivered once. It was like a 9 ounce or 9 inch pizza. It was like $40. I'm like, holy crap! I better really enjoy this pizza.
and just out of
You know?
curiosity, was that from Giordano's?
Yeah,
Giordano's?
exactly.
Yes.
Yes, it was.
I have not. I have yet to have a pizza for Giordano's. Everyone keeps talking about it. This time, I'm going to make an effort to get one from
Get a
there.
slice, or if someone's going in, go halvesies or go like 4 ways on one.
Yeah.
It wasn't worth the $40 to me. It's a good pizza,
Okay.
but it's not $40 good. But I think it's going to go and definitely stay through Monday because you want to go to the Dead Dogzilla party Sunday night,
True.
because that's where everyone kind of, you wind down. Everyone, you can have the Godzilla blood, which they make this wonderful concoction, incredibly alcoholic. But that's where the guests will also come out and hang out as well. Like I said, I have stories of smoking cigars with the captain, um,
In fact, this is
and all the guests were there. Yeah,
at the blood
yeah,
clot.
there you go. Yeah,
I'm just like, look, look. Don't think that when you look at this picture, don't think that I'm like not liking what I'm liking. It's just that I'm so in the mood. It's like, wow, this is what the
yeah.
party's
Yeah,
like.
Sundays were always bittersweet because I would usually
Yes.
leave on Sunday, and I was like, God, it's over because it goes by so quickly.
Mhm.
You're thinking when it starts, you get there early Thursday because it's only Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Friday it opens. It's all full of possibilities. Oh, this is
Mhm.
going to be great because Friday usually didn't start until the afternoon, but now it starts. It's like 3 full days. It could go 4 full days easily. It'd be no problem. But by Sunday, I always woke up and it felt like the last day of summer vacation. That anxiety, that Sunday night
Uh,
anxiety, like, oh my
yeah.
God, it's over so quickly. And I would be so sad until I started saying till Monday. Then I realized, okay, if it has to be over sometime, we can't all stay here at Christmas time all year round. I know that.
Right.
Of how wonderful it would be for this to last a month, Um, but going to that party at the end just made it a little easier to say goodbye. And honestly, the best thing that has happened is social media. Keeping contact with you, with my other friends, having you come on the shows, and just being connected with one another
Just
through social
interacting
media.
with one another. Yeah.
Yes, and so the friendship doesn't happen just at G Fest. There is something magical about being together in person and being able to hug and just share just life together and just hanging out, you know. So now, Walter, I tell you, now you've made me want to go to G Fest again. I'm telling you.
I kind of injected that into you, but
You
it's like,
did, you did.
but
I mean, I know. And my wife's like, maybe you should just go. I go, well, it's sold out. I mean, it sells out immediately. And
yeah, that's the crazy thing. I mean, it used to be where it's like you could easily get a ticket. But it's like,
well,
no,
yeah.
it's
Oh
it's
no. Now I mean, it's crazy. And I know I'll find the one person who has COVID, and I'll get COVID again. Like, no, I don't want to do that. But
yeah.
so
See?
I'm tentative about 2027. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see how things go. But because
Only
I'm
time.
assuming next year they'll probably play Godzilla minus zero at the Pickwick. Will probably be the movie because this comes out this year.
Because they are playing zero -1 at the Pickwick.
Yeah, it would make sense because minus zero is coming out next year, so it would make perfect sense. But um, yeah, and I got other friends I like seeing, and like my friend Tim, he does the Japan Legends. He doesn't go to G Fest as a visitor. He goes because he's working with the guests, and that's his job.
Yeah.
And that's how he started his whole thing. He was volunteering, like at the autograph line. He kind of organized things and got it going, and that's how he started. And he started wrangling, with the guests, and then started, again, volunteering to do
Hmm.
things, getting involved. Again, double-edged sword because
Right.
you do have those wonderful moments, like I've talked about, but then you can also come back and like it can be more than you want. Um, but I say, however you want to embrace it, and realize you're going to be there with a bunch of other people. Don't be afraid to talk to people. Introduce yourself
Yes,
to people
exactly.
because we're all there for the same reason. We're all there to celebrate Godzilla and Kaiju and Ultraman, Giant Sako, Gamera, all the things that we love. And you have other people who also love it as well. So don't be afraid to walk up to people, you know. And now that you're not nervous anymore, you would have no problem talking with
I
people.
have no problem because look, the second I see like someone like you or Billy or anyone, I go and give them a great big hug. I mean, before it was
Yes.
like, I don't do that. I didn't do that at the beginning, but now it's
Yeah.
like, dude, I'm like, give me a hug. I missed you. I gotta
Yes.
look, and it's like that's how I am now.
Right. No, I get it, man. I get it. I get it. And so this has really rekindled, like, just how really wonderful the fest is. I
Well,
mean,
I'm glad that kind
it's
of did
not
that
it's
a little
not
bit for
without
you.
its flaws, but nothing is.
Right.
I mean,
That's
nothing.
exactly. Nothing's
Right.
perfect.
Yeah.
It's not.
No. And maybe it's just taken me some time of stepping back and withdrawing, just to say, okay, I've taken a step back and I can go again on my terms. I can go and not really necessarily be involved with things. I can go just and enjoy it. Um, and and just understanding now, like, yeah, okay, but being a little more guarded, for
Yeah,
myself. So because
absolutely.
but see, for someone like to make a decision, like I don't want to go if my friends aren't going. Like I want to go on a year that you're going to be able to be there, so I can spend time with you. That I know Billy's going to be there, and Archie Wall is going to be there, and Jeff Horn's always there. He's going to be there. Other people, um, who who I like spending time with and seeing, and just really wonderful people.
It's bad.
So
Yeah.
that's what's important. So I'm hopeful, brother, that when I do go, it will be a year that you also are going. And
I feel that there, like you say, those two ships will meet, and that will
yes,
happen. Because like I say, there's no guarantee. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, there's no guarantee that I might be going next year or the
sure,
year after. But
right,
the day that I mean, the year that I do go, hopefully you do come, and it's
yeah,
like, hey, brother, we haven't seen each other in a while.
hmm,
Let's hug it out. Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Yeah, and that would be 90% of the reason I would go is to hang
Same.
out with my friends, because that became more and more important. The more I went, it's not about the stuff that I bring home. It's about the memories of the people I get to spend time with, and it's like time stands still in a way. Like you resume the
Right.
friendships immediately, and that's what makes this so special. It's like I know now, you've been on my show a couple times, I've been on your show a couple times, and to share that, like that last episode we did with the monster sounds. Oh my god,
Yes.
I had so much fun with that. Like these guys, I want to hang out with. I
See?
like everyone who's been on your show. I've had such a great time, and I appreciate you. I love you. I appreciate you inviting me back into the show and just spending time together. That the older I get, that's what's important. It's the time that we can't get back, and that becomes the best commodity. And so, yeah, man, I just love you. I do, man.
Oh, brother, don't you don't. See, you saying stuff like that, you're gonna, dude. I mean, I'm at the point where I don't mind showing my emotions. Getting. I mean, because it's like but that's being real. You're being art. Being really, um, being out there. And there's a friend. What's up there? How you doing, sci-fi? Hope you're doing all right, brother. Hope you have a good fourth and everything. Yes, but no, that's exactly it. I mean, there was a time
Yeah,
where I was afraid to do that, show my, but it's like I don't care. I mean, because
yeah,
that's how passionate I am
sure,
when it comes to interacting
yeah,
with people that I
yeah.
be with. So it's like,
Well, I know next week I'm going to see a deluge of pictures on my Facebook feed, you know, from every and
that's an
videos.
understatement.
Yes, and I think they'll probably. I know sometimes Archie will put on like people who aren't going to G Fest. He has this Saturday night thing where people get together, watch movies, and have an
Mm,
ongoing live chat, and which is fun. I don't go very regularly, but but yeah, that's it. Go have a good time, enjoy yourself, and embrace these times and meet everyone you can, talk to everyone you can, spend time with the guests, and just because some of these guests, it may be the last time you see them,
exactly. And you can never, like I
and
said,
yeah,
never get it back.
and or our friends. I mean, we are getting to a certain age where we have to start thinking about our mortality,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
because look, I know you're in your 60s now, but I'm
No,
getting close
yeah,
to 60.
I'll be 59 in a few
Oh,
weeks.
you'll be 59. Well, see, that's what I was
Yeah.
gonna say. I'm closer to 60 now than I was before, and I'm like, yeah,
Uh-huh.
I gotta watch that.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I don't have any plans on leaving, but I mean, you never know what's going to happen. So, but
Yes.
damn you for making me care again, Walter.
Well, that was the whole plan. I mean, like I say,
There you
get
go.
me with
Yeah, yeah. God damn
enthusiasm
it,
and
I'm going to have
everything,
to go back to
and
G Fest
and then
again.
unfortunately, I have that effect on some people. I don't know
Yeah,
why.
no,
It's
that's
like
fine because I'll have a bag of cigars, as you know, and
and this time, and like I say, you bring the cigars, we'll definitely puff for sure. I mean, I'm not
yes,
a bigger, but it's like let's do it for old time's sake.
yes,
Do it
and
like that.
and, and just to do it to have fun, and it doesn't matter what we
Yes.
do. If you take 3 puffs and that's fine. You know, it's irrelevant. What we do is irrelevant. The fact
Yeah.
that we get to do it together and have fun and laugh and spend time together, that's what's the most important thing. And
They're
that I think
precious
again,
moments.
yes, the G Fest will allow that, and lifelong friendships have developed because of this. And I so. in spite of the bad, there's a lot more good than bad, and I
Yes.
want everyone to have a good time, and I wish it to continue. And really, I mean, kudos to Peyton for running it. She's always been great. Exactly. Sci-fi. Yeah, the body has other plans. Exactly.
Yes.
So if I can be kidney stone free going into a July, then that will be my cue. I can
Say to
anticipate,
step up there and
but
get it.
it doesn't matter. But either way, this has been great to kind of
This has
relive
been
Heavy
great.
Metal.
Yes,
Yeah,
I'm glad that you joined me, brother, and I'm glad we got to talk about this. And I didn't really think I was going to get that. Like say in emotion, because that's the thing about it. I realized, like I say, as I've gotten older, the emotional spike has become more prevalent, and it's like I can't
yeah,
control it as much.
sure.
But no, I thank you for this and everything. And before we go, do you got anything coming up on heavy metal
Heavy
podcast?
metal horror. Yeah, we
Or
got some good shows coming up, and I forget what's coming up next, but I think maybe our top 10 bassists might be coming up,
hmm.
and we got some interviews. The guys from Venom Inc. are going to be coming on and doing some shows with us, and
And I saw
we
you had a recent one that was posted on YouTube. I forget what it was. It was
yeah, I think it was the last one we did was maybe it wasn't our Godzilla part two of
Well,
our
not that.
Godzilla.
It was something else. I think it was something else. It was with one person. He was talking with that individual. What I saw. If it
Trying to
was,
think.
unless that was the same thing, I'm not for sure. But I do know
Yeah,
we
we got
do.
our bass players coming, the top 10 bassists, top 10 drummers coming up. Yeah, I forget. I can't remember. Well,
Okay. No,
what
that's
we've
the
done. No, it comes out every 2 weeks. So we have actually this is the third. Actually, I think was it tomorrow? I think there might be new episode.
yeah.
Coming out.
I should do.
Yeah, I'll check. Give me a second. I'll check. But we got something. We got all kinds of stuff. We got a bunch of shows in the can. We got a bunch of stuff coming up. I got some really exciting shows that we're looking forward to doing. And Unsane Radio is on as well. We've got some really fun episodes coming on for that as well. We've done over I think 375, 380 episodes for Unsane Radio, and we're doing about I think. We're on like a episode of almost 170 now for heavy metal horror. Um,
Hmm.
so yeah, it's like when I look back, I'm like, my God, I've done like I've done over 500 podcasts. That's kind of awesome. That's kind of great.
You need to pat yourself on the back once in a while. It's like that's an achievement.
Yeah, and I have a blast every time. Every time, and whether two people watch it or 2,000, if it wasn't fun, I wouldn't be doing it.
See, that's what I'm saying. It's
So
like we're doing right here. I wouldn't be
yeah,
doing it unless it was
but I
a
will be doing an episode on Johnny Sacco, and
okay.
coming up for on heavy metal horror probably in the fall. I know Tim Bean is on board, and we've
Okay.
talked about you if you'd like to be on as well. I think
I
Dr.
got to, like I
Carr.
said, I got to find where I can watch it. But like I say, I would definitely like to be a
Oh,
part of
it's
it.
right. You haven't seen it.
Yet that's what I'm saying. I haven't seen it.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, you are in for a treat. I'm sure that someone will have a copy at G Fest, or you can get it online. Or
Most
you can
likely, if
probably
I
on
can,
YouTube. You can probably find it on YouTube and
that's
watch
what I
it.
was gonna say. It might be famous to feet, but I'll try to see if I can find someone who might have a copy and everything. Hopefully.
Yeah, yeah. I'm sure. I'm sure that you have friends on somewhere people who might have a copy that you could borrow.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
Friends.
right. Well, as far as you, I mean, me, I got a little something coming up before I go to G Fest, which is I'm going to be talking about the 35th anniversary, and it's only because it's pretty much a like I say something film for me, but I'm going to be discussing with my niece about the film John Singleton's first film, Boys in the Hood. We're going to be
Oh,
talking
okay.
this Sunday, and it's going to be a little discussion, but it's going to be one where I feel like, how from that film is so much has changed to compare to how much it was relevant then as it is now, and all those stuff.
Yeah.
But after
Oh,
that,
cool.
y'all ain't gonna see nothing from me because I'm gonna be G Fest bound, and like I say,
That's
you ain't
it.
gonna see nothing coming up too soon.
No, that's it. Well, I hope you have a blast. I know you will.
I will.
Yeah, you're gonna have a great time. I, there have been years where I didn't go that I felt such sadness and
Mhm.
bittersweet seeing seeing people's pictures, thinking, God, I wish I could be there.
I know.
This year, I'm just going to be celebrating with everybody. Like I'm going to celebrate with you. Like I'm going to be enjoying every
Right.
moment
You
of
be there in
you
spirit.
there. I will. And now, damn it, I think I'm going to have to go again.
All because of me. Damn it, Walter.
That's right. Be prepared, G Fest. Montag's coming back.
All right.
Yeah, it'll be fun. No matter, it'll be a great time. But
That's
thanks again,
cool,
buddy, for having me on.
But no, but
Appreciate
thank you again, Mark. Thank you, brother. Thank you for joining
Been
this
great.
little tiss on the 10th anniversary of this, and just how much this journey from the first to now has made me something different, and in a good way, because
Yeah.
I just never imagined my life shift like this. But then again,
Yeah,
who knows what would have happened if I never took a first
right.
step.
You did it, and it was a big journey for you. For me, it's a 6-hour drive. I mean, you got to
Right, that's my
you're like a half a country away. I mean,
yes.
you got all that traveling and so no, but it's just good, and that's what's I think wonderful about the fest. Last thing I'll say is that there are people from all over the world there. Like one year, I roomed with Fabien Moreau, who's from France. He's from Paris, and thinking, okay, so we have a Frenchman and an American at a Japanese convention being thrown by a Canadian.
Yes.
If that doesn't embody the spirit of G Fest, I don't know what else does. I mean, it's we all share this really wonderful passion. Most of us have been fans since childhood, and to kind of like geek out in the best way possible, it does a lot of good for the inner child. There's a lot of that child who's just very happy, and I think I had to go back now. God damn it! Yes,
but that's a good thing. I mean,
it is. It is. It really is. I shouldn't deny myself of the good experiences because of a few bad ones. So then let's do it. Let's have fun. Okay. I'll make a plan, and yeah, that's going great. Thanks again, buddy, for having me on.
Oh, no problem, brother. But Val, thank you for joining me again. And people in the comments, thank you for watching. Like I say, this is just a little thing down the road. And like I say, sometimes, look, who knows? Things re-energize you, and even though it's been some hits and miss, it shows like why we do this,
Yep, precisely. 100%. 100%. Yeah.
But anyway, brother, thank you again. Happy 4th to you and everything.
Well.
Weekend. And like I say, as I always close out, because I'm going to close it out with my famous words that I created on the fly. Y'all take care. Y'all please be patient. And always keep the kaiju love alive.